welcome to blackfilm.com. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with director Tayarisha Poe and actress Kiersey Clemons about their new film, The Young Wife. How are you ladies doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. First of all, I love this film. There's so many positive things from your acting to the directing here, so I have a lot of questions for you ladies. First of all, where did you shoot the movie at?
We shot in Darien, Georgia. It's on the coast of Georgia, Darien, Brunswick, that area.
Really, you have family there, or you just felt like this was a spot that was cheap, or
Uh,
just look at the budget?
Obviously Georgia does all that stuff that they do with the tax incentives, and that factors in. But it was the location, just like the natural environment, the biodiversity of the area. It felt very alive.
Yeah, it felt like I was in the Cape, or like I'm from New York originally, so I was like, oh, it's not the Hamptons, but it's a little bit in the woods, it's a little bit of vibe. So I really felt that energy there on the screen.
Yeah.
When you went into this film, did you know Kiersey was the perfect person for this role, or you were like still looking around?
Um, did I know Kiersey was I wanted to work with Kiersey since I saw you. I don't know if I probably told you in that movie. It's not called Shutter. J.D. Dillard.
Sweetheart.
Sweetheart. Oh my God.
Shutter Island.
I know. I was like, Shutter. But no, ever since I saw that, I was like, what the f? Not sorry to curse. I was like, what the F? Because it's like, I find that particularly in this day and age, sometimes acting is just like looking pretty, or like acting is just like looking good, and that's it, and like being made to look good in front of the camera, and that's the whole job. And so it's always such a treat, such a joy, such a pleasure to see a young actor who's like acting. And I thought that film Sweetheart was such like an exceptional example of that, and a very rare example of that. And so I've been like trying to find the right thing to work with her since then, and that was like years ago. And so when I was writing this piece, you were always, it's weird to like talk about you in the third person when I'm looking at you.
I know, and I'm like pretending that I don't hear you.
I know. It's like la 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 la. Yeah, she's always at the top of my list. So.
And Kiersey, for you, when reading the script, what drew you to this character, this role?
I just really related to Celestina, to be honest. I immediately knew who she was and where she was, even in our differences. I just understood her, and I was reading it going, yes, 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 yes. And her friendships as well. I also really loved that when I'm reading the back and forths between her and her friends and her mom, I understood their sides of the arguments as well. It was just such a beautiful script, and Tayarisha is such a good writer, and it felt very, I don't want to use the word exciting, but it was exciting. It felt really like a risk. I couldn't believe the movie was even getting made.
I know. Yeah.
I get a lot of scripts that I'm like, whoa, this is one of the best scripts I've ever read. And they're like, yeah, it's not financed. It's always the really great ones that, are apparently risky. And it's like, actually, no, we're taking the risk on you to handle the movie right, which we're obviously seeing because our industry is like collapsing in on itself. Sorry, how did we get here? Why am I talking about that?
We're just talking about the movie.
It's awesome.
So, a question for both of you. We have seen Black characters struggle in films, but this is the first time that you see a Black character struggle mentally, and it's portrayed on the big screen. What do you think is the importance of this for people of color to use meditation as a way to like funnel through the stress and depression and just panic attacks throughout their life?
I actually think we have seen Black characters struggle mentally a lot. I just think that sometimes we are not granted, and we're not granted by like how do I say this, like how culture views the film. We're not granted like
Yeah, that's
that.
what I'm saying. Like, say if you robbed a bank, or you
Yeah,
someone
you know,
killed
I
your sister.
literally like
Yeah,
when we
you
said
see
like
that, but you don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? You're not able to like feel
so
the
literally
emotion.
when you
You
said
see it
that,
through reaction.
I was thinking about Set It Off, which for
Yeah,
me growing up, I was like, Set It Off was one of, and I mean, it came out when I was a kid. So when I was a kid and I saw it, and I shouldn't have, but I did, it was so good. That was like, I was like, oh my God, they're like thinking about like life and like how they're gonna like handle like I felt like it was a very mental film. Like it was very much about how these women were navigating like their emotional landscape intersecting with like their reality.
but I like that you're actually seeing how they're thinking. I mean, I don't think a lot of those old movies did that. It was more action with. They did it through action versus like no, like hey, let's take a step back. Let's process all the information
Totally. Yeah,
and go
yeah.
from there.
But
And that's
it's
what I
like
love
they,
about
yeah,
that.
right, exactly. Like their focus was the genre. It was the action story. It was the rob in the bank, whatever. And then this obviously, and I'm trying to do that with this, or we were trying to do that with this, tell a movie that's a wedding movie, but it's like not really about the wedding. It's about her trying to process life. It's about her trying to exist as a person while like, you know, the climate is destroyed around her and while she's like questioning her complicity in like capitalism. She's dealing with all these like large thoughts that are larger than just not just a wedding, but just this day, just this wedding, just this one event. And all of those things, all of those thoughts that she's dealing with are obviously affecting her perspective of this day. And so I like that. I like taking a genre kind of thing and then just kind of looking at it from the other perspective. Um, yeah, from a different perspective.
And how about you, Kiersey?
Yeah, I mean, I I'm gonna say that this is gonna sound, I don't know what it's gonna sound like. I actually don't care, but I did a movie called Susie Searches. She's got something mentally going on that she's tackling. In Sweetheart, it's the same thing. Tackling this monster and what that really is. Um, you know, I don't feel like, again, we got it. Like, why don't you know? Why don't we know? Because we don't know how to get those movies out there. And I think it's because we're not used to understanding and seeing people like us in that light, to be completely honest.
No, we're used to it.
Not us, not us,
Yeah, we're used
Yeah,
to
not
yeah,
it.
yeah.
us.
Those
Sorry,
things, exactly. Yes.
the industry that is
Those who decide what gets
us.
made made
Yes,
me think, oh,
yes.
do Black people think about those things?
God.
It's
And
like, are
thank you.
Black people human?
And
Sorry,
that's
what?
what, yeah, we're not a black monolith. And so I love that you ladies tackle that in this picture. And that was my point. It's like it's so hard to get that narrative across. And and you guys, you did it seamlessly, right? You're like, oh wow, she does have emotion, she does have feelings, she does care, she does have to
Well, thank
balance
you.
everything.
Yeah.
It's like you're always strong black woman, you're always strong black woman. It's like when can you be vulnerable?
Yeah.
I love
Also,
that both of you both.
Mhm.
imagine we go through something and we're something other than angry. That would be so
Oh my
crazy.
God, wow. Oh.
Oh my God, the Black girl's sad.
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, that's why I love that you guys really tackled that well, and it was so smooth, and it didn't feel like she's not crazy. No, she's dealing with stuff, and that's what I love about that because it could be seen another way, and I love that it was just like seamless. It was like, okay, yeah, oh wow, I go through that same thing she does. Okay, we have similarities. I get it. Now she's processing anything going on.
Yeah.
My next question for you, ladies. This is a two-part. You got to work with two legends, Cheryl Lee Ralph and Judith Light, Academy Emmy Award winners and one two-time Tony winners. For you, Kiersey, how was that? How did you prepare for the scene and what did you take from that experience? And then for you, Tayarisha, uh, the scenes when you have legends like that on the screen, are you just giving them like, hey, okay, here's direction, just go and letting them do their thing? Or you're like, no, 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 we got a script, stick to the script and everything will be fine.
Um, I always take advantage when I'm working with people that I see as legends and veterans. I always get some piece of advice from them. So, I did ask Cheryl one day that I was having a more difficult day. I think just I don't know, handling myself, standing up for myself about something, God knows. And she just, what she said was very insightful, and I walked away with that. And I also just walked away with the way that she demands everyone's respect without saying much when she walks into a room. It's just her energy, and she has so much grace and elegance, and she's funny, and she's so kind. And if someone were to say something bad about her, you're gonna look at them and be like, well, what's wrong with you? What did you
I
do?
know, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what did you do?
Yeah.
And then Judith, this is my second time working with her. I worked with her on Transparent, and I mean, she's a it's again, if you don't like Judith, I'm thinking that something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
She's so lovely and kind and touchy-feely and gives great advice and is a hard ass, and she is Cookie. I do feel like we are Celestina and Cookie when we're together. Yeah.
No, you guys really vibe well on screen.
Yeah, we do.
Sweet. I love that. Yeah, I think that's such an important point. When you have the opportunity to be not just in the same room with people who are legends, but you also have the opportunity to like collaborate with them and work with them. My first thought is always, oh my God, what can I learn from them? Because I've been watching you on screen and learning from you, and you're part of why I'm here working as a director. I'm mining information, watching how they act, watching how they adjust from scene to scene, watching how they are with their scene partners. There's just so much that you can learn just by letting them do their thing, first of all, and then second of all, by learning how to like help them do your job, like how to help direct them. Because they are like, they're actors, they want to be directed. You're not there to just like, oh, just do you. That's not helpful. That's not what they're signing up for. They're signing up to like be directed. So also knowing how to respect that. I mean, I just, I feel like I've learned so much by the actors that I've worked with. And I have so many, it's almost unfair, the position as a director. You have all these questions for these people, but you don't have like time to ask all these questions. Like, what was it like when you were on this movie? Like, you don't have
Right.
time. You're trying to make the movie right here, right now. But there's so much to learn just by watching them do what they do.
And my last question for you ladies, I do a show called Rewind with Ro, and I always ask the guest on if you could rewind one moment, even either in the movie or in your life, you know, whether it be acting or outside your life, you could relive that moment again, what would it be?
Making this movie.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I'm so serious. I'm dead ass serious. I might have answered that even if we were talking about something else. I swear to God.
Yeah, honestly, like the feeling of making this movie, I like, even when I talk about it, I can like feel the feeling that I felt when we were doing it. It's like a very like, I felt very alive while we were there, like in that space making the work together. I felt very alive.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Definitely.
much for your time today. This is Ro Carter with Black Film. Thank you guys again. Good luck. Film looks great.
Thank you. Thank you.